Servus! Hello and welcome back to another certified OG Schaefchen video. We are back in wonderful Austria today, and I did not really do anything. And also you guys have so many questions, so we're gonna do a Q&A today, because you guys love asking me questions and I love answering them. Yeah, we have my lovely assistant Celine behind the camera today. Yeah, it's gonna be amazing. I did a Q&A on my Instagram. You guys asked me, honestly, so many questions. I don't even know where to start. Celine has some of them on her phone, so she's gonna read them to me and I'm gonna answer them as usual. Let's go back there for a second, because I never used this, and we built it exactly for like doing podcasts and whatever, and I never use it, or like the streams. So let's just sit here for a moment.
Yeah.
Enjoy the tranquility. Honestly, feels good to be back in Austria, but at the same time, I miss America.
Me too.
It was so nice. There was always something to do. Here it's a bit boring.
So let's start with the first question. Would you ever move to US?
That's a good question.
Yeah, perfect.
I could see myself living there. I really, really love the US. You guys probably all know. I don't know, the mentality over there is just so different, and people are way more open-minded, especially towards car stuff. You have also way more opportunities there, which is great in my opinion. So yes, I could see myself moving over there. My family is looking for a house there right now as well. So maybe we see more America content in the future. Currently, I'm not gonna move over there full time, but maybe one day in a few years, I don't know. We'll see. There's just so much stuff you can do there, and I just really, every time I'm over there, I'm just happy. Especially like Florida, it's just always a good time.
Okay, next question. Why don't you go on car runs or car shows?
Car runs or car shows? I do go to car shows. The only thing is we don't really have that many car shows here in Europe or like Austria that are worthy of filming. So it's just a lack of car shows, to be honest. And car runs, I did it once with like a winter run, and honestly it's just not really the right thing for me. It always costs a shitload of money, and it never really, I don't know, you have more fun in my opinion by driving a route with 2 or 3 other cars, maybe your friends, than driving with 20 other people that most of you don't even know, and most of them can't drive. So it's just, car runs are not really it for me.
Not your thing. Okay, next question. There was a time where you went into higher end cars, Ferrari, R8. Why not anymore?
I still have my Viper and the GT3. I think those are a bit higher end.
Yeah.
So there's that. But honestly, I just enjoy driving normal cars more than sports cars. For me, it's way more fun. I had way more fun driving the E36 in the mountains, for example, than I ever did owning the Ferrari, which tells me that just it's not the right thing for me to own. Although I do kind of want to have something like this in the future again, maybe a Ferrari. There are still a few models that I would like to have, or a Lamborghini or something, but right now it's just, I don't know, it's not, I have so much other stuff to worry about, and all the clothes and stuff that I'm doing on all the trips, it's so expensive that right now buying a Ferrari would be probably stupid. But yeah, maybe one day in the future you're gonna see a Ferrari drifting on my channel again. We'll see how that goes.
Do you still ride dirt bikes? I really like the KTM video and would love to watch another one like that.
Yes, I still have the free ride. I did a video with that once, but nobody really cared, which I can understand. There's planning going on right now that we're gonna do another video, but with a German dirt bike specialist. I don't know, maybe some of you guys can already guess what it is. We tried doing it like 4 times already, but he never came here, so because he was always so busy. Maybe we can make it work this year. I would love to do it. I still enjoy riding them. I just don't really post anything when I do that. But yeah, I'm still riding dirt bikes, mostly enduro in the mountains though, not on the street anymore. Let's move around a little bit.
So, German question. Wann ist Manus Golf fertig? Kommt noch ein Video?
Manus Golf. Question in English, by the way, means when is Manus Golf ready? Because I don't know, you guys probably saw it, Manu has a VR6 turbo. We want to do a video of a full build of the car, but we currently do not really have anybody capable of doing so. We would need a high-end workshop, because Manu really wants to go all out, like 700 horsepower VR6 turbo. Once we find somebody to do that for us, we're gonna do more videos on that build. I think it's a good chance for Mani to show off his car and for you guys to see what Mani drives.
What about the T-Rex Ram?
It's back there.
Oh, yeah.
We actually wanted to change wheels for it today, because I bought some really fancy rims, but we didn't have the right lugs, so it's on stock wheels again, which was a bit disappointing. I'm gonna show you a picture of it here though, because it looks fucking amazing, I guess. Oh yeah, it was really broken from when we drove it in winter. It spent like the last 4 weeks getting the all-wheel drive system fixed again, because all of the clutches were completely gone from when we drifted in the snow. So now it's fixed again, now it's all-wheel drive again, and on fancy wheels, so perfect. It's my daily driver. I fucking love it.
Okay. What do you think has been your best and worst car purchase so far?
I guess you mean like financially, probably. The best financially is probably the Viper, because these cars appreciated like crazy over the last few years. You saw it on my other video where I did like all the pricing and stuff. You saw how much this car gained in value, which was like, it nearly doubled in value, honestly, which is crazy. And the worst was probably my M5 F90 that I had. I had one a few years ago. I bought that for 210,000 euros in Austria, and I sold it for 90k.
Oh my
so
god.
That was fucking amazing. But yeah, that was probably the worst
M5
car
is not your...
No, I don't really have luck with M5, honestly. Yeah.
Okay, coming to Outrace this year.
I definitely want to go to Outrace, yeah. I don't really know which car to bring though, so we're gonna see about that, I guess. But definitely last year was very crazy. I hope that this year is maybe a bit more chill. Maybe nobody goes to jail. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'm definitely coming back. Probably bringing the GTR now that I think about it. Also, really quick, look how beautifully shiny my GTR is.
Wow.
It is still a bit mangled, but the car is really, really clean, which is amazing. And I honestly, I kind of want to keep it this way because I think it looks kind of cool, to be honest. I don't know. Is it just me, or do you also think it is?
We love it all.
I'm gonna keep it this way a little bit. We're doing like a rally in summer probably with it, so that's gonna be cool. And maybe bring it to Outrace to drift around. I don't know. But
What's our Abstimmung?
Also my sister's AMG still in here. Maybe we can do a video on that. And that's my mother's 7 Series.
Are we still getting the part 2 of Monterey trip?
Let's go back in here. See what I see. Part 2 of Monterey. Yes, it will come. The problem is that we still have some issues with that part right now that I have to wait until it's over and then I can post it. So yeah, very interesting.
Okay. A question about us. How long have you and Celine know each other, and how did you meet her?
I met her like 1.5 years ago, a bit more than that, on Wörthersee. I picked her up in a Ferrari and then she fucking loved me.
Oh no. Oh no, that's not true.
It was a bit awkward. I tried kissing her on the first date and she did not really like that, so that was also great.
Cool. Yeah. Okay.
I texted her on Instagram.
Okay. Yeah. Fast. How did you and Mani first meet?
Mani is also a very interesting story. I had my RS67 back then, and a friend of us told me he knows a good camera guy, and we wanted to do a video for like YouTube. And then Mani showed up with her iPhone and a gimbal. Like, that's how me and Mani met. And yeah, I've known him for like 8 years now. Yeah.
Perfect.
That's Mani.
Would you come to New Zealand if you had the chance to?
What a random question, but yeah, I think I like New Zealand. I've seen some videos and pictures of it. It looks really amazing. Well, maybe if I ever get the opportunity to ship one of my cars over there or something, then I could definitely see myself. The problem with me is everywhere I go, I kind of want to have my car with me. And that sometimes is a bit difficult. So yeah, there's
okay. Have you ever joined a racing team? Asking because you're so damn talented. Ego boost.
No, I don't think I'm like, I think like there's many people out there that can drive better than me. I'm not into racing that much, like on the racetrack. I think it's cool and stuff, but for me it's just not the right thing. The only thing I could see myself doing and that I would love to do one day is rally driving. I honestly think that's exactly what I would like. Selena's not against, not really happy with that, I know, but yeah. For me, there's nothing cooler than rally driving, and I think I kind of fit in there perfectly, honestly. So that's the only thing I could see myself doing, building a rally car and then rallying it. I don't know.
Will the M5 be brought to Austria after it's all done?
Yes, at one point I want to bring it to Europe because I would love to obviously drift it in the mountains or like drift it to some cities, whatever. But right now we are still having it in the US. I want to get everything fixed. Then I want to leave it there for a few months to enjoy it in the US because I just want to travel the US, see a few states and something. And the M5 is a good car for that because I guess it is a good driver for like long distances if it ever runs. But yeah. So right now it's still in the US. It will eventually find its way to Europe though. Yeah, definitely.
Any chance to get a teaser about the new collection drop?
Ja, der Cutter blendet hier jetzt dann die Kollektion ein.
Yeah, any details?
I think you guys are gonna love it, honestly. This and the following 2 collections are probably the coolest that I personally have done. Yeah, you guys are gonna love it. That's all I can say. Okay, I can tell you. The first one is the next one coming is JDM related, focusing mainly on cars like the R34 and my Evo, and also with like it's more like summer clothing. Then we have a basic drop, and then the third one is gonna be European related.
What's your best piece of advice for living life to the fullest?
For me, in the last few months, just doing it and just doing stuff. Stop thinking about stuff so much. Just do it, you know?
Just do it!
like Africa, for example. The more I thought about it, the less I wanted to go. But then in the end, I just ended up doing it, and it was one of the coolest trips I've ever done. I don't know. It sounds stupid if you say don't think about it too much, but like don't overthink stuff. That's I think the
Yeah,
most.
that's me.
Yeah, that's I think the most important thing you can say. So it's me.
Okay.
Meme guy made some stickers for me. Also very interesting. So thank you for that.
When will you revisit your M5 and what will happen with it till then?
Well, you saw where we let off with the M5. Next up is going to be to properly have the engine running. I think Sean is looking into that in the time where I'm not in the US. It should honestly, hopefully be nothing serious, only a few sensors that he has to change, and then the car should be running. So he's doing that while I'm not in the US. And at the same time, they are preparing the other 5 Series. They're chopping off the roof and stuff with the other 5 Series. And then I want to fly back and obviously film the rest of the car getting fixed, which is going to be the whole driver's side and the roof, which should probably take a few weeks from now until that's done. And then the M5 should be hopefully perfectly fine again. But I don't know. The car has been fucking a terrible car so far. Yes. But yeah, it is what it is. That's what M5 E60 ownership gets you, I guess.
So, very important question. What cars have you all owned?
That's a good question though. I'm gonna try to make it chronologically in order. I just actually found some pictures of all the cars. I'm gonna try to rate all the cars that I own. The first car that I ever got on my 18th birthday from my mother was BMW X1 with a 2-liter diesel engine inside. So it was not really that special. I was more focused on motorcycles and stuff at the time, so I did not really care about the cars. I would give this car probably a solid 3 out of 10 because it was not very interesting to drive, but it was a good car to start with probably, but compared to all the other cars, you know. Then after that, I traded it for this, which is a 235 with X-Drive because we have snow in the mountains.
Update.
We did some lowering stuff, we did OZ wheels. I was looking pretty fancy back then.
Oh yes.
Also exhaust and some software. It was pretty fast and honestly I loved it very much. At the time for me the car was like a 9 out of 10. Looking at it back now, it's probably like a 7 out of 10. I like those cars. But now I would get one in rear-wheel drive and probably an M2. But back then they had no M2s. So then after that, or like at the same time, I bought this because when I was younger, I always wanted to have like a Ram. Like those were my dream cars, like trucks. Because I was in the US when I was like smaller all the time, and everywhere I went, I saw those pickups, and that was the coolest thing ever for me. So I bought one, which was a 2001 Dodge Ram 1500. It was honestly really shitty, and it was the cheapest one I could find. Yeah, I used it to transport motorcycles and stuff around. It was still cool at the time. I'll probably give it like a 5 out of 10. It was pretty nice.
Only 5?
Yeah, it looked really shitty. It was like really rusty, really bad. But sitting inside and stuff was so comfortable. So after that, I don't have a picture of that.
You have pictures from all of your cars?
No. After that, I bought a diesel Subaru 2-liter for winter, which was not so fancy. I give that like a 3 out of 10. There's not much to say, I guess. Oh, then I bought the R6 because that's when I stopped riding motorcycles, and that's when I tried to get more into the car scene. And all my friends told me that an R6 is like the coolest car you could buy. I did not know much about cars back then, so I bought the R6. It was really beautiful color, but it was pretty boring to drive, to be honest. So that car was probably, that was one of the cars that got me known though. Like that was the first time I ever started posting cars on Instagram was with this car.
And your first YouTube video, right?
And my first, yeah, it was a really cringy YouTube video. Some photographer made a video of me. Whatever, let's not talk about that. 6 out of 10, I would say, probably. It's a nice car, don't get me wrong, but just it's my personal opinion, so don't roast me in the comments. Yeah, I had this for a while, and then I bought this. So back then I had the R6 and then the E46. All the other cars were sold. That one I bought because I wanted to learn how to drift. Because I always saw some drifting videos, and yeah, I asked some friends what's the best car for the lowest budget I can try drifting in. And back then they were like really cheap. I bought it for 18k, which was the cheapest E46 M3 I could find, and I fell in love with drifting and with driving this car immediately. I still love this car. I regret it a little bit that I sold it, but at the same time it was a bit too underpowered now for like a wrong setup, let's say, like this. That was honestly, I would give this car a 9 out of 10 because it has a sentimental value a little bit. It was a US import as well, so very interesting story. After that, or like at the same time, I had these 2 cars, and then for winter I bought, oh no, actually, I bought the R8, which is back there. I traded the R6 in for the R8, so I got rid of the R6 and I had the R8 and the E46 for a while. The R8, I don't know, some friends told me it's a cool car. I still did not know much about cars. It was on air ride, it had Wassons on it, and the crazy GT3 rear bumper, the one that you can see up there. Wait, so this is the R8 bumper, which is of a real GT3 car. Very interesting. Yeah, the car looked amazing. It was not that special to drive, honestly, though. So I don't know. I did not really enjoy it that much, to be honest. That was probably a 5 out of 10. or like a 6 out of 10. Yeah, it's not my favorite car. Let's say it like this. And then I bought this for winter to go with the E46 and the R8, which was my first RS4 B8 I ever owned. And that car was honestly for winter very good. I enjoyed it more than the R8 and the R6. That's why I got another one. I would say 7 out of 10. For winter it was cool. In the winter it was like a solid 9 out of 10. But normal driving, 7 out of 10. Beautiful color though. This one was a bit more beautiful than the one I have now, but yeah. And then I traded this in after winter for my F80.
Wow.
This is the car that I regret selling the most in my entire life, and I really wish I had one again. The color was amazing, Yas Marina blue, white interior, perfect spec. I had no rear view camera for some reason. It was a bit weirdly spec'd, but yeah. It was on air ride the first couple of months too, but then I found out that air ride is shit, so I changed it for some normal coilovers. It was on HRE wheels in the start, but then I also traded them for like some BBS and stock wheels, and the car was amazing. I was honestly so happy. This car is still a 10 out of 10 in my opinion.
Yeah.
I really love this car. Oh yeah, a friend of mine has that. Like
Yeah.
a friend of mine used to have it. You saw the videos when we drifted in the snow. I still miss it. At one point in my life, I want to have one of those again because I kind of miss those cars. They are so easy to slide. That's like the easiest car you can have to drift, and it looks good. It sounds amazing. You can daily drive it. After the F80, then I bought the F90 M5, which we already talked about, which was a big financial loss for me, but at the same time it was my daily driver. It was a very cool car, I enjoyed it, but it was so fucking loud because we straight piped it with no valves that it was just getting very annoying. I ended up at one point trading this and the R8 for the Viper that I have now. So I sold the R8 and the M5 and I got the Viper instead, but that was a few years later. In the meantime, after the M5 F90, which honestly that car was an 8 out of 10 in my opinion. I kind of liked them, but it had some flaws. In my opinion, the seats are a bit very hard for a 5 Series, so it was not so comfortable to drive. It's my own fault, I'm stupid, I know, but it is the way it is. Let's go outside really quick while the fridge is running. Maybe I can find more pictures of cars. Oh yeah, that's perfect, because after, like at the same time, then I bought the GTR in 2018. This car took forever to build, so I bought it, and then like the next 6 months I never saw the car again. Now I still have it, which should tell you that I love this car a lot. This is probably like the most universally friendly car in my collection because it can basically do everything, as you saw. I really do everything with this car. I really love this thing.
You should give it a name.
If you have a name for my GTR, write it down in the comments. I don't want to think about that right now. But this car is, for me, one of the greatest cars ever built. This is a solid 10 out of 10. It is a bit heavy, but once you get used to it, this car can do everything. I really love it. Yeah, at the same time, back then I bought the Speciale, which, yeah, I was not a big fan of. It looked amazing and it sounded so nice, but at the same time, that car was just always broken, always had issues when I took it out. That car is probably a 6 out of 10 for me. I'm sorry, FERRARI guys, but it's just the way it is. A few months later, GT3RS came along. We ordered that long before that, but it took forever to arrive. To me, this car is, I don't know, I don't really have much sentimental value with it. It is nice to drive and it always works. 7 out of 10 for me, probably. Still have it. I want to trade it for something else though, like something cool.
But it was a date car.
It was a date car, that's true. That's different. Yeah. But yeah, the spec is pretty nice. And most of the times my sister drives it actually. It is the way it is, yeah. After that, let me think. Yeah, then I sold the M5 and the R8, traded in for the Viper. The Viper, I really love this car. I think it's probably the most special car I have because nobody else has one, especially in Europe. These cars are crazy. To me, that's like way cooler than a GT3RS.
Yeah.
And probably like the coolest supercar you can own because it's honestly, you feel like, you can't even fucking describe it. This car is insane. I mean, look at it. Everything is stock on this car.
And the people like it too.
And the people fucking love it. Yeah, that's the next thing. This car is probably also a solid 10 out of 10 for me. This is also probably one of the cars that I won't ever sell in my entire life because I love it so much.
It's just beautiful.
Yeah. And then one of the greatest things ever happened to me, which was that Bernd, the guy who built my R34, told me that I needed an Evo. Back then I did not like Evos, and he sent me pictures of like this Evo 5 and with like a really shitty phone camera. I was like, I don't know. This car looks... But he was like, trust me, it's amazing for winter. So I bought it in 2019 also, and that was one of the best decisions I've ever made because
like a go-kart.
Yeah, it's like a go-kart. I really love Evos. Those are probably one of the coolest cars for me you can drive. You can't really do much with it in summer, although we're gonna try to. Well, mine is getting a pretty nice setup now for this summer, so we're gonna try to make some videos with it. But in winter, it's probably the coolest car you can have. It works perfectly. It looks amazing. It sounds nice. I really love rally cars. I like old school rally cars, and the Evo is just exactly that. Evo also solid 10 out of 10. I love that car. I still own it. It's getting painted right now, so it's getting a fresh paint job, so it looks nice again after all the years of abuse. And yeah, then you're gonna see it again on my channel. I can't wait for that. So then 2020 comes along, and the first car that I bought 2020 was I traded the F80 for E92 G-Power. I had a white E92 G-Power, which was honestly not very much the move. That car was cool, but not nearly as cool as the F80. The G-Power did not really work properly. It was throwing belts left and right, so every time we drove it, we had to change the belts, which was just annoying. It was also not making the power that it should have. They told me it's like 650 horsepower, but in the end it was like probably 500. It did not feel that fast. That car was a 7 out of 10, and I ended up trading this a few weeks after I bought it for the it's not here. For the E90. The E90 that we all love, which is ESS supercharged. I still love this car. It is getting completely finished now. You saw it in Finland. It was like 80% finished. Now it's getting the final touches. It's getting a new color, which is going to be amazing. It's getting a new front bumper, new side skirts and stuff. So it's going to look very, very good. This is one of the cars that I love the most right now. It's also a solid 10 out of 10, if not even 11 out of 10. I really love this car. It sounds amazing. It's so incredibly fast. It works perfectly until the time it blew up. But apart from that, I really, really love this car. Yeah, after that, pretty much at the same time, I bought my Can-Am. I bought the Can-Am, which I still have some tires left for that. That was also very cool, but you can't really drive it here anyway. So I sold it 1 year ago, or like 1.5 years ago. That was a 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. It was nice. I think the new ones are pretty cool now. So we'll see if that works maybe.
Oh my god, so much cars.
I'm sorry. But it's nice, I guess, for detail, yeah. After that, I bought the Supra in summer of 2020 and the R34 pretty much at the same time. The R34 was really, really shitty when I bought it. It was very badly painted and it was not running properly. So we did that, made it beautiful, and I drove that in winter of 2021 in Sweden, which is, you guys saw the video of that, and the car blew up, so we made it new again, and now it is on its way back to Europe actually. So in a few weeks, you can maybe see it here driving around on the European roads. And the Supra back then was also not in the best condition. It was pretty nice, but it blew up after like 500 kilometers of me driving it. So I rebuilt the engine for the first time, and now a couple of months ago it blew up again. I'm gonna do a separate video about that. R34 for me gets 10 out of 10. I fucking love that car. Supra probably 8 out of 10. Doesn't drive as good as the R34. It looks cool, it sounds good, but it just does not corner at all, which is for me not a good thing. If I think about it, it gets a 7 out of 10. But I still like the car. Supra is coming back soon, hopefully as well. So now we are at 2020, and at the end of 2020 I bought the Raptor, Ford Raptor, the smaller one, which was also a cool car. I loved that as a daily, but at the end I wish I had bought the longer one, because everybody who drove with me was always complaining that the rear bench was so small. So that car gets like an 8 out of 10 for me. And I traded the Raptor for the T-Rex, which I have right now. T-Rex is amazing. That's probably the coolest daily I've ever had. That car gets a 9 out of 10. It would get a 10 out of 10, but the fuel consumption is really bad. And here in Europe, we have really high oil prices, or like really high gas prices. So there's that. 2021, I bought my Pre-Runner in the US, which is a fucking cool car, but it's really useless, sadly. That car gets like a 7 out of 10 for me. I really love it, and I want to have something like that again, but maybe a bit more street friendly, like, I don't know, build Raptor or something like that. But the Pre-Runner was really, really cool.
Oh, you forgot Helmut.
Oh, I forgot Helmut. Yeah, 2020, I bought Helmut. I still have Helmut. I really don't know what the fuck to do with it, honestly. It's just sitting back at home under some tarp, and I don't know what to do with it.
He's just chilling.
He's chilling, yeah. So Helmut, then the Pre-Runner in 2021. So 2022, bought this at the end of 2022. Yeah, that's it. 2022 was a really nice and not so expensive year for buying cars. I only bought the G80, and this car I love so much. It can do everything.
Yeah.
I want a single turbo it probably. Still have to find somebody who does that for me though, and then we can drive it again. I already have some trips planned with it this year. It's gonna be cool. This car also gets a solid 10 out of 10 for me. The next car was my E36 Compact, which was very fun. It was like a 5 out of 10, but it looked pretty cool at the end. I liked it until we destroyed it at the demolition derby. After that, the Miata, which I still have, with a blown up engine somewhere in the US. I nearly forgot about that. I don't know. I don't know what to do with it, honestly. It's somewhere in Los Angeles, waiting for a new engine or whatever. Car was really fun to drive, but at the same time I have shit memories with it, so I don't know. 6 out of 10. And after that, I bought Eddie, which Eddie is not here.
Yeah.
It's getting prepared right now because we're gonna do some pretty cool stuff with Eddie in the next few weeks, which you guys are gonna love. Eddie is a solid 9 out of 10. It would be lower, but the car has much sentimental value to it, so 9 out of 10 it is for Eddie. And then at the very end, E60 M5, the last car that I bought. I think if it runs, I love it because it sounds so good, and it has also very much sentimental value right now, since so much has happened to it already. Right now it's probably 7 out of 10. 6 out of 10 because it's being a bitch, not running.
What? 6 out of 10?
Because it's not running. If it's running, it's probably like an 8 out of 10. I like this car. I can't wait to drive it properly though. Then I can give you a full resume on that. But yeah, that's That took forever, I'm sorry. But that's all my cars. Now we have that question out of the way at least.
Okay, what was your worst car-related moment? Der E60 ist sicher weit oben, denke ich.
The E60 was actually not my worst car-related moment, now that I think about it. My worst moment, that probably not many people of you know. 2 days after I bought the Speciale, I tried drifting it, and I drifted it. You saw my videos. It works drifting. I drifted it a lot, but 2 days after I got it, it was still a bit snowy outside, and I basically crashed into one of those like road marking posts that we have here in Austria.
What?
The plastic ones. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, it was not a bad damage. It was the front bumper and like parts of the cooler that were damaged. But in the end, that was like 80,000 euros because it was a Ferrari. So that was probably the worst thing I've ever done. And also the closest thing I came to crashing a car properly, apart from me flipping Helmut, was crashing the Speciale into a like road marking post when trying to drift it. Okay, what do you think of the European Union
banning sales of the combustion engines?
Obviously, I think we all know that it's stupid. That's a very political question, by the way. I try to not get very political, Madeline, but whatever. I don't think that electric cars are the way to go. Especially after driving some of the Teslas. It's nice if you live in the city, but if you live on the countryside, it's just not really the way to go. And I don't think it's going to change that quickly. And I also think, as far as I know, they are postponing this rule. I don't think that it's up to date anymore, but if correct me on that if I'm wrong. So yeah, I'm not really, obviously I'm against that, but there's not really much I can do, I guess. US is cooler anyway, so yeah. If that ever happens, I'm fucking out of here.
Okay, what's the most disappointing car you have driven? That's
actually pretty easy. Honestly, I was very disappointed by the Cybertruck. I thought that first of all, it's gonna be way quicker. I thought it's gonna be way more fun to drive because like some of the Teslas, they have like funny features, like the farting noise and stuff, and I did not find that in the Cybertruck, which I was a bit disappointed by, honestly. The build quality, I thought it would be honestly way better than it was, but it was really bad from the outside. The wind noises and stuff. I mean, after all, that car's like 100k, and getting that for 100k, I would be very disappointed. And also, the car not drifting made me fucking hate it. The worst car ever.
That was the last question.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video somehow. I guess you kind of like the Q&As. I'm gonna try to do them a bit more, or like at least 3 or 4 times a year, because you guys always ask me so many questions on Instagram. Yeah. I think doing a Q&A is probably the easiest one to answer most of your questions. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed it, let me know and leave a comment if you have any other questions. I'm gonna try to answer some of them. I'm gonna try to answer some of them. And yeah, otherwise we see each other again. We have some pretty cool stuff planned, especially with Eddie. I can't wait for that. After the M5 wrenching, I'm kind of motivated to go with Eddie and do some stuff there. And apart from that, we still have a few more videos from the US, which I don't know when I'm gonna post them. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm gonna see you guys in the next video, and yeah. Happy day!
Bye bye!